Hi, this is Peter, Kenshin1913, along with
Mom.
And this is another Cooking with Kenshin1913 100 episode.
Woo!
Yeah. So what are we going to be making today?
Well, today we're going to do a special treat. I'm going to make an Italian cookie called a Pignoli cookie because it gets the name from the nuts that you use to roll the base of the cookie in. And then I'm going to also show you some different versions of that cookie.
So it's perfect for Christmas.
Yep. Okay, we're actually taping this episode also on our new kitchen island. So it's going to
it's going to work out so much better.
A better situation when we are taping.
Yeah.
So for the Pignoli cookies, you need to have a pound of almond paste. Mm-hmm. Now, usually you can get this in like an import store. You can also buy it in the regular grocery store. What it comes in though is a little can, and I think they're about 6 ounces if I'm not mistaken. So you'll need several cans of the almond paste. And almond paste, it comes in a big can that when I buy it from the import store, and they cut it into pound slices. Mm-hmm. The next thing we're going to need is 3 egg whites, a cup of granulated white sugar. Mm-hmm. These are the Pignoli nuts. If you could see them, a Pignoli nut comes from like a pine cone in Europe, and when they're harvesting them, they have to take them out by hand. That's why they're so expensive. They're pretty expensive. If you ever go to a bakery, especially an Italian bakery, and you'll buy Pignoli nuts, you'll probably get 4 nuts on top of the cookie. But wait until you see what ours look like. Mm-hmm. The other thing that I'm going to use is I'm going to make just an Amaretto cookie, which is the almond paste. Roll it in granulated sugar, which is the thick, coarse one. And then usually I put, these are the dried cherries, either a red or a green one, piece of it on the top. And you'll see how we're going to do all of them, because I'm going to make a variation.
And what's the other thing here?
Excuse me. And the other variation is sliced almonds.
All right.
Okay? So we're going to get started. Okay. I'm actually going to put all of this stuff in my KitchenAid mixer. This is a gift from a long time ago from my husband. It's one of the best things that I ever got, because when we're making lots of cookies, you get tired and your arm gets tired of stirring and stirring. But you can make these if you don't have a KitchenAid. You can make these all by hand. So what we're going to do, first off, is going to crumble the almond paste into the bowl.
Now, what kind of consistency is this almond paste?
It's kind of like Play-Doh.
Yeah.
That's kind of the consistency, if you can see, and it breaks all up.
Yeah, it smells delicious too. That's one of the things I like a lot about it. I'm not a huge fan of these cookies because they're really, they end up being kind of sweet, but also they got those nuts on them.
You can't eat a lot of them.
No.
And they're really good with a cup of coffee.
Of course.
At an Italian wedding, all of the old grandmas run up to the cookie line and have their little bags with them, and they're taking all different kind of Italian cookies. Usually these Pignolis are the ones that are sitting on top.
Right.
Because they're the most expensive cookie, and you only get a few. So it's relatively easy once you start. You could even have the kids help with this part because they'll like breaking it up for you. You could put it in a different bowl and let them break it into little pieces.
Yep, so we're gonna, just a quick note, side note on all this. We're gonna try to do one more cookie for the holiday. So you got another cookie you could do. I'll probably end up, well, hopefully cook it this week, which, whatever. Anyways, we're gonna cook it. We're gonna try 2 cookies this year. Usually I do 1 cookie recipe, but this year we're gonna try to do 2. So
I'm gonna add my
1
sugar.
cup of granulated sugar.
Yep. And we're gonna do 3 eggs. And we're just going to use the whites.
Right.
Now you will hear some recipes they use the whole egg. I don't do that. This is the way I was taught, and I've always had a good success with the and these yolks. We'll use them afterwards because I'm going to be making more cookies.
Right.
And I will take them, beat it with a little cold water, and then I'll paint my sugar cookies and put my sprinkles or whatever on top of the...
Now this is not one cookie that we make from the Cookie Bible that we did last year, but like I said, we are going to be making another one. Anyways, another thing I just want to talk to quickly is about Cooking with Kenshin1913 and how it's 100 episodes. I can't believe we've done 100. Granted, it's been a pretty long time, but you know we've been trying to do it on a more consistent basis, which we've been, I think, fairly successful. And I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I mean, we hope to do a lot more. There'll be a lot from now on. I probably won't number them anymore. I'm just gonna have what they are and all that. But we are gonna try to do some different things that you might not have seen us do. I'm going to try to get more guests, you know, different perspectives of different recipes and all that good stuff.
Just let me wash my hands and then I'll show you how the dough comes together. Okay. So we're going to start off slow because you don't want to get a sugar bath. And just let it incorporate. And this dough is going to be very sticky because of the sugar. And that's what you actually want. So it's pretty well incorporated. It's going to stick on your paddles. So I'm just going to bring it down. And I learned a trick of how to roll these because they're so sticky because of all the sugar. You have to get yourself a little dish with cold water in it. And also you want to bake these
at 350.
On 350. I do them in some books. You'll see they do them on a different temperature, but I've always had luck with 350. I might keep them in there a little bit longer till they're kind of golden brown. Some people you'll hear them that they'll bake them on a brown paper bag. I use parchment paper.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take, I don't know if that's about a teaspoon, and I'm going to wet my fingers, the tips of my fingers, in the cold water. And I'm going to roll this. So sometimes you'll see them like a crescent, sometimes you'll see them like a log, and sometimes you'll see them round. Usually I do just kind of a log. They don't rise up very a lot, so they don't puff up and become double, but they do puff a little bit. So as you can see, I have a lot more nuts on there than 3. And one of my son's friends used to call these the $7 cookie.
So you're just gonna roll these pretty much in the pine nuts. And how many dozen you think this makes, or how many batches you think?
Well, probably about 2-3 dozen at least. And I just tap the nuts on the top because you want them to stay in. And I'm going to show you how I do the one with the granulated sugar. So again, you're going to take the same amount, and I'm going to roll this time. I'm going to roll this in the granulated crystal sugar. Put it on, almost like a thumbprint. And I'm going to take a piece of the cherry.
You're going to cut it in half, right?
Actually, you get quite a bit out of it. And when I've done them in the past, as I said, you can buy these cherries. And see what I'm doing? I'm just wetting my palm of my hand again.
Yeah, do it on the
because it sticks.
So you're going to put them in the crystal.
In the crystal sugar.
Press down with your thumb. And then you're going to take one of these cherries.
Piece of it. So usually I cut it kind of in a piece, or in threes probably, and just pop it in there.
So my mom, let's show off how to do the one with the almonds.
Yep, the one with the almond is easy as well. You could either do them in logs or round. And again, it's just rolling it in a log. Getting your nuts and coating it.
So we're pretty much gonna do these and put them in the oven. How long do they usually stay, Mom?
About 15 minutes or so, but I check them every so often because, as I said, I want them golden brown.
Right, at a 350 degree oven, about 15 to 20 minutes, and we'll show you what they look like when they're all out.
Okay, here we are with our first tray out, and they're nice and golden brown.
As you can see.
And coming off the parchment, you see how nice and brown they are on the bottom?
So this took about, what, 20 minutes or so?
Yeah, you just have to keep checking them because every oven's a little different. See how nice they came?
Do one more, I'm sorry. You keep missing. Whatever, just lift it up so you can see the back.
See?
Okay, so that's pretty much the brown that you want to get.
Okay.
And they smell terrific. Almond paste is great. If you don't want to put these little cherries over there,
you don't have to. You can just roll them in the sugar and just pat it a little bit.
So let's eat them.
I wish you could be in this kitchen right now. The smell is absolutely amazing.
Almonds are great. Why don't you have here's the cookies, right?
So we can show them to you a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't want to tilt them too much.
So you got
These are the Pignolis.
You got your Pignolis, which cost a fortune. By the way, these pine nuts cost quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like my mom was saying.
The Pignoli, the actual almond paste does not cost a lot. It's probably anywhere between $4 and change to $5 and change for a pound. And I used a pound of paste to a half a pound of nuts.
Right. So take a bite of the regular Pignolis, Ma, because I don't really eat the nuts. And tell us what you think and how they taste and all that. It's nice.
Delicious. Yeah. They're actually crunchy on the top.
And then chewy.
And chewy and soft in the middle.
Yeah. And what do those pine nuts taste like?
Like pine nuts.
I don't really know. I don't eat it, but we hope that you enjoyed this recipe for the holiday season. We'll be hopefully making another one. But yeah, so this has been Pete, or Kenshin1913, along with
Mom.
And this has been another Cooking with Kenshin1913.
Our 100th episode.
Yeah, 100.
Yeah, wow.
Hopefully we can go another 100.
Enjoy and happy eating.